under stars. In these cars we don't own. After so many days, how are you still the same? When everything and nothing's gone our way. After so many years, how are you still right here? I swore the flame would someday disappear. In the rearview mirror, the rearview mirror. Can you still taste the salt on your tongue, or the second-hand smoke that clouded your lungs? And will you miss the lights burning low, or the silence you hope for at every show? After so many days, how are you still the same? When everything and nothing's gone our way. After so many years, how are you still right here? I swore the flame would someday disappear. In the rearview mirror, the rearview mirror, the rearview mirror. And when it's over, we won't look back and regret. So many days, so many days. Everything and nothing's gone our way. After so many years, how are you still right here? I swore the flame would someday disappear. In the rearview mirror, the rearview mirror, the rearview mirror, the rearview
You're listening to Big Blend Radio, and we are airing live from the farm at Spring Creek in East Tennessee. Of course, we're your host, Nancy and Lisa, and we also have special guest co-host Aaron Turner from the farm with us. And you just heard After So Many Days. It's the title track of the album that's out now and documentary coming out on October 20th that covers husband and wife music duo Jim-Hanft and Samantha Yonack's year-long tour where they played a concert a day for every single day, 365 shows in 14 countries. It's an amazing documentary. It also really tells the story of what, the struggle for musicians to get out there into the world. And oftentimes going to Europe actually really helps. And I think this documentary really shows that. But it's a love story. It's a love story, it's a relationship, a love story of music and the people they meet along the way. And because their music really touches, as you just heard. So again, the documentary is out October 20th through digital places like Amazon and iTunes. You can go to the website aftersomanydays.com to learn more. But welcome, Jim. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Doing good. Did I pronounce your last name correctly? Because I'm in trouble, I know. It's wine time here.
No, you absolutely said it correct. And we go by Jim and Sam specifically because our last names are so challenging with way too many consonants.
I like this. Hey, Sam, welcome. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Yeah, I was like very impressed with the last names. Actually, you guys did great.
Well, I think it's the wine. Erin, do you think it's the
wine
wine?
helps.
Or was it the
Yeah,
Tennessee
probably has
whiskey?
something to do with it.
I know. Listen, Nancy and I, we actually watched it, your documentary here at the farm.
I love it.
And the music goes with the farm. I'm going to say, your music is so beautiful.
Yeah.
And we're like looking at the fall leaves afterwards going, man, they need to come and play here. Like, Erin, do you ever have concerts?
No, but I think we should. And I think y'all should be the first.
That'd be
cool.
Yeah.
You guys
consider
were
it done.
describing the farm, and I was like, oh, I want to be there. I just, you know, especially when you can't travel right now, it's just the idea. You guys were describing this beautiful farm and the cows and the pigs, and I was like, please, let's go and drink wine.
Yeah, you should. You should come out here. And we went hiking through Cherokee National Forest today, and the leaves are falling, and there's water running, and it's just magical out here. But you guys traveled, 14 countries. You went to Iceland, Belgium, Finland, England, you know, all over.
Amazing.
And it was such a trip to see, like, okay, maybe you're not on a stage, but you're going to go play in a liquor store, or you're going to play in an apartment. You're going to play to the pizza delivery man. I mean, it's like you held. Yeah, there's we are part of a program called the 8 Keys of Excellence. It's a education program for kids to teach them life skills and to think for themselves. And one of the keys of excellence is flexibility, and one of them, or there's integrity, which you both have too. That's the first one, and the other one is commitment. And as we're watching this, we're like, they've got flexibility, they've got commitment, and you guys did it. I'm like, even when you got sick, Sam. I mean, really, I just hats off to keep that going. Jim, what was it that kept you all going and not throwing the towel in? Because we know what it's like. I mean, those days are there.
It's a great question. I think, you know, the number one thing is that we were on the road doing the thing we love to do more than anything else. You know, and I think performing live and performing with each other, that still to this day is our favorite thing, and it is a thing that brings the two of us together. And it brings us up on our bad days. So I think truly every day, even if it was a rough day, or even when Sam, you know, was ill or whatever was going on, when we performed, all the negativity, all the second guessing went out the window, and it was all about the music.
I love that.
I see that. I can understand that. I mean, we used to have a band, and there were a lot of bad days with our band. Drama. It was really funny. It was like a comic strip. But when we actually got around to singing and playing, all that stuff went out the window. Yeah.
Exactly. I think there's, for any on the pursuit of anything, you end up working on so many things that have nothing to do with the actual thing you chose to be doing. So it's all those other things. But we put ourselves on a thing where every day, no matter what, we were brought back to the thing we're here to do. We're not here to write emails and book and plan and do all those types of things. That's not why you sign up to be a musician, but that's a part of what you have to do. And I think that's where the comic strip comes in.
I know. Building websites in the car, we relate. Sam, you know, the one thing too with the two of you, and I want to talk about how the idea came about with you too. But Sam, one of the ladies, and it was funny because it was right when we were talking about this during the documentary, how the two of you are like one on stage. It's like watching a butterfly. That to me is like the two of you together, like the wings of a butterfly, and you. The one lady said that you move together. It's not just singing and harmonizing in this amazing way, but there's a movement you both have, like, and it is a butterfly. Sorry, Jim, you're a butterfly.
No, I'm happy to be a butterfly.
Okay, be a butterfly. but that is something magical, and you. I think at the beginning you weren't even married that long together. You know, at the beginning, right, of this whole quest.
Yeah, no. We weren't. We got married 4 months before the tour started. But we had been playing music together for about 10 years. And prior to even being in a relationship, we were in a band together. So music has really always been the foundation of our relationship. And it's the thing that we know will bring each other up. It's what we can always connect with. You know, if we go 2 weeks without playing music and there's like some tension, we always know the answer to like kind of coming back together. So I think, you know, It's a very real thing, especially when we're performing. It's like everything in that moment goes out the window, and it's like you just have that moment, and it's really been amazing to be able to kind of share that. And and I think getting married and this being our first year, of being married, that was a really interesting thing, just because,
Wow.
I think we both needed to kind of prove to each other, like, hey, this is one of the most important things in our lives and to each other, and like let's prove that, like, let's prove to each other and ourselves that we can commit wholeheartedly to this thing and see what happens.
Wow. That's talk about a honeymoon, and then like a challenging honeymoon, right? Well, Erin, you know about that. You're in the family business, and you work with your husband too, and your kids on the farm, and your in-laws and grandparents. I mean, that's wild. So you know that part, huh?
Yeah, it's challenging sometimes, but definitely rewarding in the end. I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, I think it's
Erin, can I ask, Erin, do you have any tips? From running a farm with that many family members, any tips or tricks we can borrow?
I don't know. I think just be patient and give each other room when you need space.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you
That's
do
a
that
good
when
one.
you're? Yeah, Nancy and I have to do that. I mean, we're a mother-daughter, so we do have our moments, and sometimes the car stops and people will hear some really good language, and then they'll see us laughing with wine later, because you can't keep on with it. So how do you deal with that on the road? Like, how did you guys do that, Sam? I mean, there's moments. How do you give each other space? I mean, even the bathroom. Sometimes it's a good place.
For that year, there was very little space. I don't remember the space that we took, but I think it was like sometimes maybe like a little walk, like. But I don't even know if we did that much of the time. Or I think it was just long car rides in silence, maybe. I don't know.
Oh,
Jim,
yeah.
do you remember?
Yeah, and when we're playing, when we're playing shows, and even now when we go on tour and we're playing in venues, I think people have this idea of what it's like backstage before a concert, and the band's hanging out, and everybody's drinking wine or beer, whiskey, whatever whatever your thing is. That's what everyone's picturing. In our version, it's Sam in a corner drinking a glass of whiskey, and I'm pacing around the streets looking for a coffee. And we do not see each other until we literally, because we can't be around. That's sort of the space we take right before we go on. I think it's still one of those moments where we find that window. But that's
true. I think because we're such different people, right before you go on stage, you really need that moment of how do you ground yourself?
Yeah.
And we ground ourselves in really different ways. And so, I forgot about that, but you're right, Jim.
So the filming of this to me was amazing. And I'm like, okay, did you guys do a lot of that on your own? I mean, even I love your mic stand, by the way. I'm like, I want one. But I love those. Like, this is like these amazing postcards of music, a traveling postcard of music. But the filming all of this, it's not just getting up on stage. This is a whole other deal. And you guys are really honest, man. There's you guys are straight up.
Well,
I think that we had actually really never used a camera before this project, and I think the first 30 days, 40 days, we were definitely fumbling, but then once you start to do anything every single day, you start to get the hang of it, and little by little, it was, and we say this a lot, but the camera kind of became a member of the band. It was at every show, it was in every hotel room and every car ride, and it became second nature to put this camera up. And then after it became second nature, you would just get excited about we got to capture this, or we can't forget to do this, or look at that amazing view, or and obviously you get home and you're like, those 500 shows that we captured, none of that's going in. It's all these other strange moments where the camera was kind of glossed over or blurry or whatever it was. Like, those were the real things that we kept in. But it was kind of it was a learning process throughout the whole thing, and it was a really cool thing to learn along the way. And
Did you name the camera? Did you name it?
You what?
Did you give the camera a name?
Did we? Did
a
we
name?
Jim?
Didn't you name? Give it a name? You if you name a car or
yes. I'm trying to think if we named it. Did we
no,
name
and
it?
I wish and looking back, I wish we had.
You know why
we didn't?
You know why we didn't name it? Because we had like 15 different cameras.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Yeah, it was.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why you have to name them, because now like I named my suitcase. Lisa has different names for it. I just call it
I have a name
heavy.
for your suitcase.
I call it heavy. I'm your brother.
Oh, that's really
good.
funny. Looking back, I wish we could have called the camera Barry. So like whatever, it didn't matter what the camera was, just like, hey, grab Barry. And it's like it doesn't matter if it's a phone, a GoPro, a proper camera, or if it's a guy named Barry holding a camera. That's Barry. So.
And then when you get mad, you can say Chuck Berry.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, good one,
Boo.
Nancy. Jeez. Now, okay, so the other thing is going out there and number one, doing the documentary and this whole idea. Who came up with the idea of going on tour with the 365 shows?
It started out. It was this initial idea that we had with a producer in Sweden. We were making a record. It was late at night, and Sam and I were kind of commiserating and slightly complaining about the music industry and and touring and booking shows. And the producer said, you should just play every day, play all the time. Little did he know he was planting a seed in the back of our brains that, 3 or 4 years later, Sam and I have this book that sits on the top of the piano that has ideas, whether it's a song, a lyric, a title to a song, a music video idea. It could be, it's endless. And this idea was in there, and we were in a really big rut, and it popped up. And, for us, if we can agree on something, it doesn't matter what that is. If we agree on it, we usually do it. And this was one of the few things, one of the only things in that moment we could agree on. And when we weighed the pros and cons of playing every single day for a year, the worst thing to happen clearly is divorce. That could be the worst. But if we got divorced, it was inevitable anyway. The best case scenario, or the worst case scenario, is we're going to be better at music. We're going to be practicing every day and performing, and that's and everything else is most likely going to be very interesting and more interesting than just being at home.
I like that. I like that.
Some of the places you played, like the laundromat and things like that. I know there's got to be people who just kind of gave you that dumbstruck look. You're in there washing your undies and your socks, and here comes a couple that are now going to sing to you while you do it. You had to get some really astounded looks.
Oh, yeah. People definitely thought we were crazy at times. But I think, and we probably got so used to that initial feeling that it started to feel normal to us. But I think what was really interesting about those moments is the people who would give us looks. Once we kind of started, they would join in. Like they would kind of they would become part of the show, and then like a conversation would happen, or we'd talk about what socks they were cleaning or whatever it was. and
what big socks you have.
Well, and just to add to that, like you kind of mentioned about, and by the way, side note, I am curious about the other 5 things that you teach these kids, because clearly we're not those 5. You said we hit 3 of the 8 things you teach kids.
Because this is it, is live in the moment.
This is it. Yes, you hit
live in the moment.
Okay, got it. So
far.
I love
and
that.
Ownership,
But you
ownership.
said
Taking ownership.
Oh, and ownership. Okay.
Okay, so that would be speeding tickets.
Exactly. But I was just going to add really quick to the performing in wherever, a laundromat or a bodega, the commitment idea. It's not just committing to the tour, but it's committing to the show and to the moment. And if we would walk in somewhere, we just got so comfortable and confident with this idea that this is what we're doing. And through that commitment, the people, they just sort of accepted it. And they were like, yeah, you of course you're playing a show every day for you. You should absolutely be singing right here in this moment. And we would perform as if it was, maybe it sounds crazy, but we would treat it like it was Lincoln Center or something, and give people a show that they will never forget, is how we always thought. Like, this could be the most unique, interesting concert, best show this person's ever seen in this moment. And they will probably never see us again. How special.
Awesome.
I always thought intimate, venues, there's the ones with the thousands of people that are cool, and there's like this rush of energy, but it's those intimate moments. I remember with our band playing the song, as an old Moonglow. It's an old like big band, like jazzy swings, not like it's just like a slow standard. It's one of the American songbook songs, you know. And it was New Year's Eve, and I was like, I always want to like play this song. This is one of those most beautiful songs. Not that our guitar
awesome.
player could ever get it right, but
No, he
we
couldn't.
attempted it.
Funny.
And I remember we were playing for a horse group, this party of
A horse
people.
group.
And
People.
no, I mean we played Mustang Sally for the sound check, and they all got up
It's
and did like a
equestrian.
conga line. Yeah,
It's
equestrian people.
Equestrian.
Sorry. Okay. Well, we're on a farm. I can talk about horses. But anyway, we played the song, and we butchered it. But this older couple, we did too. But this elder couple got up, and she hadn't she had a little bit of Alzheimer's, and she got up and danced with her husband, and she hadn't danced for years, and she remembered the song, and that was the last time she she did pass away after that, like not after the song, we didn't do it, but
no.
it was her one moment thing, and that was, remember her husband saying like she hasn't smiled and been like that for so long, and that sits with me forever.
That was touching.
Those
it was
moments.
really touching.
And that's what I loved about your documentary, was that how many lives you touched. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, it's that's such a beautiful story, and yeah, thank you for sharing. And also, and yeah, I think you get it. I mean, and it's those moments. It's not, that's that's so just you as a band and those two people and that woman, and something you'll never forget. He'll never forget. And I think that's really, at the end of the day, I think as a performer or any human, you're looking for these experiences, and you guys are traveling around together and doing all the things you're doing. You're looking for experiences that you'll never forget. That's the goal, right?
Yeah,
yes,
it
and
is.
we're getting
and
them
sharing
too.
it. And sharing it. You can't keep your experiences to yourself, and that's the thing too with what you're doing with the documentary. The other thing I want to touch on is going to Europe. What is this about artists? We have to go to Europe. Like it seems like that. Like all the bands that we interview, it's like go to Europe first, and then you can come. And we just interviewed John Zazula, totally different music. He's like the metal. His interview airs on the 23rd of October. He's like the metal mogul of metal music, and he was the manager for Anthrax and oh my gosh, Metallica. He's the one who put Metallica on the map. And he said that whenever he did an album was coming out or they're going to do a tour, he says you go to Europe first, and then they come home. They're like, hey, Anthrax or Metallica, they're homecoming part of the tour. They've been here, there, everywhere, but he said Europe first. And it seems like that happened for you too a little bit. Go to Europe.
Yeah,
yes, Sam,
it's funny. Europe is it's one of those places that they treat the artist completely differently. The audiences are more engaged, and they pay you and they feed you and they put you up. At least for us, like that was the situation. And we had built a couple of relationships prior to the tour over in Europe, because we had made a record over in Sweden. And so for us, it was something that we could constantly tap into and kind of lean on when there was some open time. And we knew that, actually, there was one guy who halfway through the tour, we had never been to Eastern Europe, and he wrote us an email randomly. And he was like, guys, I love this project. I love what you're doing. I would love to book some dates for you. Like, tell me what you need and to make it happen. And we were like, well, we would love a month of shows booked in September. And we need this, and this. And within 2 weeks, he came back with all of our needs met. And we went to Eastern Europe, which we had never been to before, and played in all of these places. And it was just, I don't know. I don't know what it is over there. Jim, maybe you can kind of.
Yeah, I think. Well, yeah, I think there's the cities over there. It's easier to get to them by train too. So or by train, not by train, by car. Like each country, there's not that much distance between a lot of the countries, at least within Europe, and you can drive 2.5 hours, and now you're in a city where it's a worthwhile show, and it all makes sense. And we did 28. To Sam's point, we did 28 shows, I think, throughout Eastern Europe, Poland, Estonia, Lithuania, Latvia. And they were great shows, and they took care of us. And if you look at the U.S. Or you're in Tennessee, it's the gap between cities. There's a lot of long drive times, and there's a lot of those things. So I think that's part of it too.
Well, I think that also you got to come out here, and that's the things we tend to connect with a lot of the smaller communities, and because they need it, they need the tourism promotion. But there's something like magical out here. Like Aaron, I think like if you had a concert out here, like the town would show up because it's not like that every day. You know what I mean? I think their music has to come out here. I'm just saying, you need to come to the farm.
Yeah. I mean, there'd definitely be a following, I think.
Mhm. Absolutely.
That's a really good point about the smaller communities. We did a run of shows in Sweden for about a month, and instead of hitting the big cities, we were in a lot of the small towns. And you're right, it's these communities that all come together, and they're excited, and they're it's just a different feeling. It's these smaller towns and these kind of this like grassroots feel, and it's great.
I think it's because they know each other, so they tell each other things. Where in the cities, people like, don't be talking to me unless I know you.
Yeah, totally.
And we're always looking for things to do because there's not that much action out here.
True. Yeah, that's a good point.
You can watch cows.
Yeah.
I think the cows would like. Oh, that's the thing. When we were watching, we started giggling because you had that one where you played for the cows, and we're sitting here going, we just arrived here on the farm. And I'm like, they're playing cows. Where was that? I mean, the cows like your music. See, you got to come here.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That was awesome. That was like one of my favorite parts of your travel.
Yeah.
You're looking at what's happening now for musicians. I know that some, places are opening up to performances. Some of them are really different. Some of them are drive-ins, or, it's just I know a musician that he's doing the back of the truck concerts and, trying to keep socially distanced. And it's just been a very odd year for music, and a lot of records being made through Zoom. And, I remember when Skype first started, how that's how, musicians connected a lot through Skype and Dropbox. But, I was thinking about you guys. It's a good thing you didn't do this like this year. It's a good thing you did it when you did.
Totally. And even with, we were saying too, it's like even with the film, it's in a way, I'm glad that we have the film to kind of be able to travel and tour when we can't tour. And that,
Yeah, I think it's, but then, you could be going in the streets and everybody could watch out of their windows. I felt like that would be something you do. Would you do that, Jim? Like go travel and just like, play for everybody in Italy when they can sit out and drink coffee and look out their windows?
Yeah, they have porches.
Yeah, say it again?
No, I was going to say you could go to Italy and,
we would. I mean, and that's now just a part of who we are. And I think it's actually, I think the tour for us, it was necessity. The cliche of necessity is the mother of invention was truly, that was it. We had to play every day, and that's it. And now I think what's kind of really cool is all around the world, musicians are operating that way because of what's going on. And the silver lining of, even though it's tough to find a silver lining right now within the music world, because it is so challenging to continue to, put food on the table as a musician. But on a creative level, people are getting super creative during this time and really resourceful during this time and collaborating and working together. And so.
That's cool. I think that's cool. I mean, the creativity is it. And I think this year we've seen businesses change. People do things that they never thought they would because, there's also the fear of change. And that's a huge part of what's going on now is that fear of change. And now it's kind of, you get to change without as much of fear because you have to. It's like, it's too bad. You can't be fearful. You just got to do it.
You're totally right.
Yes.
Yeah. Get out there. So, like, when everything gets back to normal, which it will, I know everything about viruses. It's going to go away. If we all just drink wine and Tennessee whiskey, we're all going to be fine. But, when things get to wherever they get to, do you see yourselves getting back on the road either here or in countries you've never been to? Do you want to go to other countries?
Yes, we want to. I've never, because we have not been on the road for the past, 6 months. I think I have never had more of a bug to be on the road and to travel to places that we haven't been and to be in front of people. And it's so funny. We just got off the road, like literally the week before the pandemic hit. And I remember being like, oh, my God, I'm so happy to be home. And I was like, oh, this pandemic's going to be great. It's going to give us all this time to be home. And now I'm just like, it's like crawling out of my skin, just like so ready to get back out. So we will definitely, once this all goes back to quote unquote normal, we'll be definitely going to new places and back on the road as much as we can.
Yeah, good. Jim, what were you going to say there?
Oh, I just wanted to readjust Sam's quote by saying, we never said the pandemic is going to be great. I just want to make sure everybody knows we said being home will be great and not having to see people maybe for a little while will be great. But everything else about the pandemic is absolutely awful.
Of course.
Yeah. Specifically, like running out of, and I'm mainly referring to running out of pasta at grocery stores. Like there was just some really bad stuff that's happened. I'm clearly joking.
Yeah. No, it's been, yeah. And all the toilet paper thieves, and remember when this first happened and everybody went berserk. I mean, Erin, I think you guys at the farm are more set up, compared to all of us if we were in the city. You guys out here could just keep going, right? You got pantries full of everything preserved and pickled, and you guys like live off of the land here. Like you guys were okay, right?
Yeah, we're just like business as usual. Actually, being so far away from town, not that we're that far, we're 8 miles, but people around here think that's really, really far away from town. And being that far away from town, we just like to stock up so we don't have to go into town as often.
See, that's it. They're like, okay, this is how it is. So, okay, yeah. Jim and Sam, before you go, I know we're going to play another song because we have to, and this one's got witches, Witch in a Window. I'm excited to play that. It's a good time of year to do it. But before you go, I want to hear about one place that each of you want to go that you've never been to on tour. So let's start with you, Jim. Where do you want to go? Like anywhere in the world that you haven't been to that you want to go and perform?
Oh, and perform? Japan.
Ah, okay. Yeah. Okay. What about you, Sam?
Well, Jim took my answer because I also want to go to Japan. I'm trying to think. You know what? I want to go somewhere in South America. I want to go to Japan, but I also want to go somewhere in South America because we haven't done that yet.
Okay, another world tour is coming on.
That's
see this
a lot of rhythm
like,
down there.
I know.
Cool.
This would be cool.
Yeah.
This would be very cool. And that's the neat thing is about going to these other countries because they have their folk music. Their music that comes like here, here in Tennessee or the Appalachia areas. There's like Appalachian music. You know what I mean? So
totally,
it's like, it's neat to perform your style and then learn from the other countries too.
Yeah.
What they do.
Yes.
Totally. Absolutely.
Yeah. Just to have that world music. But yeah, listen, you guys, congratulations on the documentary. So October 20th is the big day. And so that's going to be like on Amazon everywhere, right? That people can get it online digitally?
Yes, Amazon, iTunes. Yes.
Okay.
Cool. Yes, Amazon, iTunes, and if you go to aftersomanydays.com, that'll have all the different places you can find it and watch it and listen to the music and all that.
And get your album, songs from
people watch it. Because it's really, really, you did a really good job. It's really interesting, and I found it really. I'm like, dude, I want to do that.
I know. I know.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, and so we're going to play Witch in a Window. So anybody want to tell us, Sam, Jim, a little story behind the song, or should we just play it for everyone?
Yeah, you can go ahead and play it for everyone. It's just, I think living in a town filled with a lot of veneer and that kind of thing, that this song is kind of born from that place of kind of not feeling like you kind of have to wear a mask or be somebody else to kind of get ahead or be a part of something or be accepted. So that's kind of what that song, after being on the road and being so connected with people and then coming back to a city that felt really different from that, it was really jarring. So this song kind of was born from that. So that's Witch in a Window.
Here it is, everyone, Witch in a Window. Take care, guys. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so
guys.
much. Enjoy the wine.
Yes, we will. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.